What's going on, y'all? My name's Rob. Welcome back to the Kentucky Chew. Alright folks, welcome back. Appreciate you tuning in today. And today we're going to be talking about a brand new series that we're kicking off for the month of March. It's March time. We're in the Bluegrass State. This is Kentucky, and we are really big about our college basketball. And so we thought, let's combine the two. College basketball, whiskey. We're going to do a March Madness style bracket, a blind taste, and I'm going to explain all the details in this video and a little bit about what we're going to be putting out each week for the whole month of March. So, alright, so here's what we come up with. We have labeled this the Budget Bourbon Brawl. I hope that name hasn't been used before. I know other channels have done something similar like this, like a bracket style type review where they get down to a winner to see who wins in whatever kind of category they're doing. And I chose Budget Bourbon, and here's the reason. You know, I've talked a lot on my channel about my how I started collecting, my view on it, where I was, here I am now, and you know, I'm not going to get into all the details on that. All I'm going to say is I've walked past a lot of good whiskey on the shelf, stuff that we can find, and I don't want to do that anymore. I buy with the purpose of enjoying it. I like to share with my friends. I like to experience a lot of different types of whiskeys, and so that's what I'm doing this year. And so when I started thinking about this, I realized there's a lot of products that I haven't tasted. And like I said, I walk past them every day. I'm always just so focused on the allocated stuff, the stuff you can't find, the one-time releases that you'll never get. And look, I'm not saying those aren't great. I enjoy them just as much as anyone else who enjoys hunting bourbon, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. But let's face it, here in 2024, bourbon is still crazy. I mean, in this day and age, you've got celebrity whiskey, and you don't know if it's good or not. And a lot of times it's already got a pretty high price tag. You've got distilleries coming out with their brand new products. Almost everything is $50 or above. You know, for me, it seems the $50, $75 mark is the new norm. And the reality is there's a lot of whiskey well below that we all should probably be trying. And I think a lot of people who have tasted these would agree with this. And so, like I said, this is called the Budget Bourbon Brawl, and the Kentucky Chew is going to find out who the winner is. And so I want to explain a few things on it. One, there's going to be 16 different bourbons or whiskeys in this. There are no ryes. I'll talk about the little bit of each bottle, but I decided on 16 whiskeys. Now, I'm not trying all these at one time. This will be done blind, but this is going to be over the course of the whole month of March, and we'll explain a little bit on that. 2, all of these are easily findable. You should be able to locate these in any liquor store, no matter where you're at in the United States, except for 2, and I'll explain why I included those 2. My hope is neither one will win. We will see, because this is going to be blind. My hope is that they don't, because then that just shows even more that we should be buying these products. Alright, so let's get into the whiskeys that I'm talking about. Alright, so I couldn't fit quite all of them into the frame, but you can see most of the ones that I am going to be tasting in this Budget Bourbon Brawl. And so I'm gonna shout out the first 2, because those are the ones that people are going to be the most upset about, because you're going to be like, hey Rob, those aren't easy to find. And I know, I get that. I'm going to explain. Weller Special Reserve and Buffalo Trace. Again, here's the reason I put those 2 in there. I understand that they're allocated. I understand that not a lot of us can find those, but they are still great value whiskeys. If you can find them for retail, they are phenomenal at the price point that they are at. And so I wanted to include them. Again, I want to put these up with the stuff that we can find on the shelf every day and just see how they line up. I promise all the rest of the products from there you should be able to find. Moving on to the next one, Elijah Craig Small Batch, a personal favorite of mine. I love Elijah Craig. I love almost everything that comes out of the distillery there, and so Elijah Craig is definitely one of my favorites. Then we move on to the Green River Wheated. I actually did a review on that, and I did compare it to a whiskey in this lineup. If you haven't seen that video, we'll drop it here on this one so that you can check it out. Larceny Jim Beam Double Oak. Benchmark, I've got two of them in here, the single barrel and the top floor. Wild Turkey 101. Then we've got the Four Roses, Old Tub, the Old Forester 100 Proof, Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, Old Bardstown Bottled in Bond, and then Old Granddad 114. So, a few of you are probably already thinking this, and I'm well aware, there is a lot of variation in between this. When you're comparing 16 whiskeys, it's really hard to get all of those to be on the exact same even playing field, but I did the best I could. Let me know what you think. The highest proof one is going to be the Old Granddad, the 114. The lowest proof point is going to be the Four Roses, coming in at 80. Everything else in between here is close to that 90 to 100 proof point. We've got some weeded, we've got some bottled in bond, but my goal with this, what I was looking for, what I wanted everything to be around that price point of $35, $36 and a little bit over $20. I wanted to be somewhere in between there. To me, that's a good budget value if it is something that tastes good. It's not going to break the bank. In fact, you see that a lot of these haven't been opened. If I'm remembering correctly, I picked about 8 or 9 of these bottles up just the other day, and it was around $230. So that's about how much it costs for a secondary bottle of Weller 12 these days, right? So look at how much product I got here for that price point. I'm not saying any of these are as good as Weller 12. I'm not that naive, but they still can be enjoyable. Something you could drink around the bonfire. Something you can share with your friends. Mix in a cocktail, whatever. Something that still deserves to be on our shelves, in my opinion. All right. And here's my bracket. Here's the breakdown. Probably hard to read on there, so I'll go ahead and help out a little bit. But so what I did, I've obviously got the 4 quadrants here, and I tried to split these up pretty fair in the first round. So up here, in the top left, your all's top left, we've got the Weller, the Larceny, the Green River, and the Buffalo Trace. Got mostly weeded whiskeys in there. I thought that was going to be pretty comparable, and so all those are around the same price point. Should be a pretty good first round there. Moving on, we've got the Benchmark Top Floor, Four Roses, Elijah Craig, and then the Benchmark Single Barrel down here in this bottom category here. Those will be compared for the first round. And then we got the Old Granddad 114, Wild Turkey 101, Old Forester 100, and then the Jim Beam Double Oak over here where my finger's pointing. And then down at the bottom on this one, this is where I got the bottled and bond lined up. We got the Old Bardstown, Evan Williams, Early Times. Forgot to mention, I do not have that bottle on my shelf yet. I will have it by the time that I compare it to, it looks like it's going up against Old Tub for the first round. So I promise I'll have that one before we get started on this March Madness. So there's a lineup. There's the whiskeys. Let's see. So I've got those split up. It's going to be 1 versus 1 on every round. And so I'm going to do, for instance, I may do the like the Weller against the Elijah Craig first, and then right after that do the Buffalo Trace against the Green River. And then the next video it'll have 4 more whiskeys, but it's only going to be 1 versus 1. Winner moves on, loser stays behind, and by the end of March we'll find out what is the best budget bourbon that we all should go grab. So cheers, happy chewing, see you all in the next video.